Hello, and welcome back for your daily dose of LOL Esports content, where I'm going to cover the games that took place in the LCK and LPL today, as well as what will occur tomorrow in those two regions. Predictions went 4-0 on the day and 125 and 61 on the split thus far. First, we had Weibo and Ultra Prime as Weibo would win 2-0. Light was MVP, getting a pentakill in game 2, going 18-0-13, 31% of damage. Xiaohu 4-4-28 in mid, had the best KDA. Doggo did not play poorly, going 8-5-2 and 31% of damage in the loss. So game 1, close after 18 minutes, only an 800 gold difference, 15 CS for Xiaohu over Yukai. And Yukai had one nice Azir play in this game, but otherwise it was pretty much Weibo controlled. Very slow. Xiaohu taking both grub spawns as well as Rift Herald in the early game. So, I mean, everything that Weibo did, he was essentially the person doing it, whether it was taking objectives or just even getting a kill here or there. It was not a very interesting early game. Then Light on the Lucian started dealing damage in the mid game, and ZDZ on the K'Sante started securing some kills for the team and had some nice ultis and things of that nature. That ended up giving Weibo the win, but it was not clean, and frankly, this 2-0 was a very dirty 2-0 as far as Weibo should be concerned. Sorry about that light in the background. My light above me is out, so I had to add a different light to the set, if you will, I guess. So game 2, 15-15 end of laning phase, and Ultra Prime are actually up 2k gold. A lot of that to do with the bot lane. However, there was a 24 CS lead for Yukai over Xiaohu in mid, so Yukai returning that favor, getting out to an early lead. 10 CS for Hacker over Xiaohu as well. That in part due to Xiaohu trying to make things happen, going around the rift. He'd go top, mid, and then Weibo would get a pick in the jungle. But, Hacker would not be denied. He took both Drakes and both grub spawns, and Doggo on the Varus had 2v2 kills in the bot lane. They did very well into Light and Crisp. Now, Light doesn't die, but at the same time, Crisp was dying to Doggo and Jue. Yukai on the Azir was very strong in the mid game. However, so I believe it was 4th Drake. So Weibo are trying to get Soul. Ultra Prime, I think, are trying to get Soul. Yeah, they got the first two, of course. Light would respond on the Xayah, getting a Penta. Xiaohu and the Viego had kind of stymied Ultra Prime before that, but this team fight was like the culmination of the game. And Weibo were able to outplay Light. Getting that pentakill on Xayah was huge, and then he would just start getting kills the rest of the way in the final team fights that would follow, and Weibo would pull out the win. And like I said, it was a dirty win because Ultra Prime are not a very good team, but you do have to give Doggo some credit that he did well in the 2v2. I know a lot of people are I almost said they're dogging him, but I don't want to use that pun. They're kind of riding him, and I think that, Doggo really hasn't been on a good team since his PSG days, so it's hard to really blame him for, much of anything. Top Esports RNG, Top would win 2-0. Cream 10-4-11, 29% of damage. Tian 2-1-20. Tangwan 4-6-2, 25% of damage in the loss. So this one, not blowouts by Top Esports, but I would say game 2 definitely more lopsided than game 1. 17-15, about a 2k gold lead for Top, 18 CS lead for Jackie Love Mako. They had a 2v2 kill, Jackie on the Varus, getting some things done. 369 on the Aatrox, had a great outplay of a dive in top lane. 369 would end up being MVP of this series. They tried to dive him and he killed 2 of them by himself. Almost killed a third, which would have been very decade reminiscent of last week or even earlier this week, where he had a 1v3 outplay, solo killing all 3. RNG Ming played pretty well in game 1 on the Ashe. He used his arrows on cooldown and frankly hit quite a few of them and was the setup for RNG. However, when team fights started to really get going, it was 369 and Cream making a massive difference. Cream on the Azir getting things done. Game 2, big Diffie in bot lane. So 15 minutes, Top Esports have a 2.5k gold lead. 43 CS lead for Jackie Love Mako into LP and Ming. Remember, LP replacing LWX for this series, and it is not LP's fault that this happened. I don't think it makes a difference who the AD carry was. You're against what is possibly the best bot lane in the world on paper. 17 CS lead for Cream over Tangwan. And at the same time, we do have to, notice RNG were up 18 CS in top and jungle, but Breathe and Wei were not able to get anything done with those leads, as Tien was able to secure both grub spawns and a Drake to tie Drakes. So, the trade is there. You get the gold, I get the objectives. Now you have to do something with the gold, and it just didn't happen. 369 on the Aatrox, very strong once more once team fights began. Cream on the Azir would get a couple solo kills in this one. And then Jackie Love on the Callista ended up having a triple kill as the game kind of came to an end. He didn't have a lot of damage in this one. Jackie was kind of an afterthought, if you will, as Cream and 369 really did all the work. And like I said, 369's Aatrox on another level. People want to, give him crap for his one bad Rumble game with his first Rumble game on stage at Worlds, and not really think about how he was the glue for that JDG team. Frankly, I think he is what makes... 369 is the type of player that wins championships. It's just a matter of time. And I picked Top Esports to win Worlds with my 2 early Worlds prediction. I wasn't the only one. And I feel pretty good about that right now. I mean, shit, it's only been a month. Things could change in the next 5-6 months. I shouldn't have even said it like that, because I actually don't really like thinking about Worlds at this point. But regardless, LCK, T1, Nongshim. T1 would win 2-1. Faker, 22-8 and 20, 34% of damage, was MVP. He played Wei in games 1 and 3 and looked very good on it. And frankly, his karma in game 2 was pretty much all T1 had in that one as well. Carrier, 4-6, 23. Jiwoo, 19-7, 10, 32% of damage, as he played possibly the best Smolder games we've seen thus far. So game 1 was close. Despite T1 having a 2.5k gold lead at 14 minutes, Nongshim were not going to be denied. Jiwoo on the Zeri was very strong. Honestly, I mentioned it Smolder, but I also should say Jiwoo played extremely well in game 1. Nongshim played well in this series in general. Sylvie was very active throughout the series. Now, in the end, a hands diffy in game 1 was the difference. Zeus had a 44 CS lead over Din Din at 14 minutes, and he only needed to get one pass by up to his side to actually get that lead. 25 CS lead in the bot 2v2 as well, but at the same time, Jiwoo has all this gold on the Zeri, had the first few kills for Nongshim. Owner on the Lee Sin would win a key Drake fight. Nongshim got the first 2, so the third fight was important, and Owner, I think, had a quadra in that one. Faker on the Wei started dealing damage, and Zeus on the Gnar finally utilized his gold lead to make a difference in the late game team fights. Game 2, a lot closer. Only 600 gold difference at 1530. 20 CS lead for the bot duo of T1. However, that really didn't make much of a difference, because Sylvie on the Vi was everywhere, out ganking Owner once again. Din Din on the Udyr, benefiting from the 2 times that he would go topside and affecting team fights massively. Faker on the Karma, like I said at the beginning when I went over the stats, his mantra Qs and things like that were able to keep Nongshim at bay at times. But in the end, it just became too much, as Jiwoo's Smolder just became online and was unkillable. And, I'm not a big Smolder fan based on what I've seen, not as a, in meta sort of thing, but just in general. Oh, and I should mention, this is why I think that T1 really struggled. They have a CS lead and a gold lead in bot lane, but I don't think Twisted Fate AD carry is a thing. I think that sucks. I have not seen one team play it well. And, you think about it, I understand, like, oh, he's got a stun, oh, he's got damage and this and that. But to be able to utilize that ulti, like, in mid, it's perfect. There's a reason why the global ulti champions are best mid, because they can make things happen. But, and even hell, Call Me in this series, in my opinion, did not make enough happen. I thought he played well at times, but I felt like he could have done more. Regardless, Guma died 7 times, but the fact of the matter is, I think TF absolutely sucks at AD carry. I don't think that's an AD carry champ. If you want to do like Senna TF, if that's even possible, and you make the TF the support, and you throw Carrier on that, a Carrier could pull it off. Then he can go around the rift, maybe make things happen as the Senna is in bot lane. I don't know. But TF being anywhere but mid is definitely suspect. Game 3, 15-30. Nongshim actually have a 1k gold lead at the end of laning phase. Owner, a 17 CS lead in jungle on a Nocturne. Din Din, a 10 CS lead over Zeus in top lane, and that was in part due to a solo kill on the Poppy. Faker had a solo kill on Wei into Call Me. Now Call Me would respond on the Taliyah, getting a couple kills in a key team fight. Actually, the Drake spawn, Drakes were at a premium in this one. I mean, 3 Drakes in the first 15-30 or so would indicate just how important Drakes were to these teams. Keria on the TK would end up getting a solo kill himself. I think it was a 2v2 kill. And then, I didn't even write another player's name down because for the rest of the game, it was the Faker show on Wei. He was just raining down damage, one of the better Wei performances we've seen. I think Wei belongs on the Rift much more than TF AD carry. I think it's a complicated champ, and you have to assume the LCK is gonna figure it out first because the LCK is the best region in general, right? The best players from the LPL, a lot of them are from the LCK for a reason. So I think the way they learn and things like that over there is just at another level. So the way they figure things out, they're going to be the innovators, and it's no surprise if Faker is the one to do it. Now, KTHLE. This was a HLE special in Game 1. Not quite Breon special because there were some kills, but Game 1 was 50-something minutes. As HLE went 2-0. Viper 15-2-16, 41% of damage, and that was a really quiet 40%, especially given how Game 2 transpired. Zeka 14-1-17 in mid. He played Yone both games. Deft 10-6-6, 41% of damage in the loss. So, Game 1, 50 minutes. So, do we really care about the first 14 minutes? It's whatever. There's a slight gold lead for KT, but this is pretty irrelevant. Viper on the Virus in a mid-game team fight started actually getting some kills, and Deft responded on the Smolder. He played very well on the champ in this one. Both of them would definitely have over 1,000 DPM easily. Frankly, I think it was even before the late-game team fights transpired, very late game because it went so long. I think it was the third Elder fight. They already had over 1,000 DPM, and then Viper ended up dealing 11,000 damage in that last team fight. Zeka on the Yone, strong in the mid to late game. And then Delight on the Rakan is MVP. He had a triple kill in Game 1 around Baron. You don't want that on your Rakan, but at the same time, Delight was everywhere. And then in the final Elder team fight, where it's 100k to 95k gold, so it might as well be 0-0. Whoever wins this fight wins. Delight was all over the place. His knockups were there. He also secured the Elder, which won them that fight, won them the game. So Delight ends up being MVP in a 50-minute banger that frankly just comes down to that final team fight. How we got there, it's a thing like I said, it was Viper and Deft trading back and forth, and then Zeka getting involved on the Yone. But honestly, it came down to Delight and his engage in the final team fight and securing Elder. Game 2, very different. HLE blew out KT in the laning phase, up 5.6k gold at 16 minutes. 35 CS lead in mid for Zeka, 24 for Peanut over Pioshik. Excuse me. Delight on the Rakan, once again, very strong. Hiccup. BDD on the Taliyah did kind of bring things back. KT had a breath of hope in the third Drake fight. Well, third Drake, and there's a fight at it. And he and Perfect, I thought, did very well in keeping Peanut out of the pit, which allowed them to take that Drake and win the team fight that transpired around it. Now, after that, Zeka on the Yone became really strong once again. And like I said, quietly, now Viper's getting these kills, but I'm not a big Jhin guy. So he's playing Jhin. He's dealing damage, I guess, and got a lot of kills in the process. Now, I would prefer looking at Delight with those engages. Yone making things happen, Peanut making things happen, instead of Viper just kind of standing in the very back line, ulting, and shooting what would be missiles into KT. So he ends up leading in damage, but Delight ends up being MVP in my opinion. A lot of Viper's success was due to the Rakan today. Sneak peek for tomorrow, LPL. Thunder Talk, Anyone's Legend, TT 1-4, lost to Rare Atom. Anyone's Legend 4-2, beat OMG. Last time they played, Anyone's Legend won 2-1, but all 5 of those players aren't on the team anymore. 3 of the 5 starters for TT remain, and they're the top side. UCal 7-6-12, 28% of damage in the win. Loss. Rare Atom OMG, Rare Atom 1-4, beat Thunder Talk. OMG 2-4, lost to Anyone's Legend. Last time they played, OMG won 2-0. 4 of the 10 starters are the same. Abel went 10-5-17 with 27% of damage. Assume 5-7-3, 33% in the loss. And then we have a dichotomy in the last series. Ninja in Pajamas, EDG, Nip 5-1, coming off of a win against Ultra Prime. EDG 0-6, coming off of loss to Team Wii. Last time they played, EDG won 2-0. 3 of the 10 starters are the same. JJ went 4-3-17, 15% of damage in the loss. LCK, D Plus and FearX. So D Plus 3-5 beat DRX. FearX 3-5 lost to T1. Last time they played, D Plus won 2-0. 3 of the 10 starters are the same. Showmaker 5-5-16, 18% of damage in the win. Closer 10-8-7 and 41% of damage in the loss. Lastly, Gen G DRX. Gen G 7-1 beat HLE. DRX 1-7 lost to DK. Last time they played, Gen G won 2-0. 3 of the 10 starters are the same. Pays went 11-3-8 and 25% of damage in that victory. So that's it for your daily dose of LOL Esports content. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.